Hello, I'm Annika, clinical psychologist. Welcome to the channel Dad of a Genius with Errol Musk. Hello, Errol.
Right.
Errol, you were recently interviewed by the number one breakfast show of an Australian radio station. And thereafter, a publication was released that twisted your words quite a bit. The interview was videotaped and will also be released on our channel. I saw the video and I never heard you saying anything of not being proud of Elon. But the news article says you are not. So I also don't pick up that you said you're not proud of Elon and that only Kimball is your pride and joy. Can you comment on that?
Well, obviously I didn't say that. So the interview was twisted in a way because they said, asked me, am I happy? Something to the effect, am I happy with Elon? And I said, well, yes, but he is actually himself not very happy with the fact that he's not as far ahead as he would like to be at this time. And that he would have preferred to be where he is now, maybe 5 years ago. And he's trying very hard to push the schedule. I mean, this is common sense. It's not rocket science itself. Talking about rocket science, it's not rocket science to figure it out. So, no. I mean, as far as being proud of a child, parents, let me quote Solomon from the Bible. Solomon, pride goes before a fall. So, you do not walk around being proud of yourself or of your children and give that impression. I mean, that is asking for trouble from our Creator. It's just asking for trouble. The same as a yachtsman doesn't name his yacht Sea Conqueror or Wind Tamer. Because that yacht, or a very classic example, is the Titanic. To name a boat the Titanic is to doom the boat, because the Titans were doomed. And so they named the boat the Titanic after the Titans, who themselves were doomed because of their pride.
No.
So it just shows you, there's a classic example. So as far as your children are concerned, you are concerned as a parent. You're always concerned that things are going well for them. Their health first, their conditions, everything that is pertaining to them, that they are okay. It's very, very much the number one thing that's on a parent's mind. So one doesn't walk around. If you hear that they do well or have done something well, you're glad. You also try not to let them think they've done enough. You try to, as a parent, encourage them to do more, and so to try harder. And I think that is the role of a parent. So that's the answer.
Did you ever think that Elon will become the richest person in the world, Errol?
Well, I knew that they would do well. I mean, there wasn't any question about that. But I must say, about 20 years ago, when he did start doing things well financially, I actually said to people 20 years ago, he won't stop until he's number one. So I have that on record. People can tell you I said that to them 20 years ago. He won't stop until he's number one, and he won't stop now. It's not so much about being number one. It's about being, as far at the front as you can be. Like running a marathon. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are you proud of Elon?
Well, again, I'm not going to say I'm proud of Elon or any of my children, because I'm asking for trouble, and I don't want trouble from my maker for saying things like that. I'm thankful for their achievements. I'm thankful to God for the creation, or for the fact that they're doing well. I'm thankful. I'm not proud.
Errol, so you're walking here in this Langebaan little village of us. You're going to a grocery store. You just walk around here like a normal earthling. How do you handle it if you think you are the father of the richest person on earth? I mean, can one grasp it?
Well,
Isn't it almost too big to deal with?
no. I mean, look, we've also been, I was quite successful when I started out and became quite successful. The family had all the things they needed. We had airplanes, yachts, horses, bush camps, all the fancy cars you could think of. We had everything. So you can only have so many of those things, and you can only eat so many fillet steaks, and you can only eat so many prawns or lobsters or crayfish or whatever it is you call it. So it doesn't matter, you can't. More money doesn't mean you can go out and eat ice cream all day. It just means you have perhaps more responsibility to see what you do with that money, and see if you can, put it to proper use around you, with people around you, and especially with your own family, and get things moving for anybody that you can.
Can I ask you something? Do you love Elon?
Of course. What a stupid question.
It just has to be out there
What a
because there's some
stupid
people that
question.
comment that, I read some of the comments and I shake my head. So I have to ask you that on those people's behind.
No, stupid
Okay,
question.
if you think of Elon and you see him in the news all the time, and we see what the news can do, what is going through your mind?
Well, I mean, in order to sell newspapers and get people to watch shows, TV shows and things like that, it's normal. You have to make it interesting. You have to make it topical. Something that's happening now that somehow is exciting or perhaps terrifying or perhaps makes you jump with joy. So people need that. They need the ups and downs of the year. They need Christmas, the wonderful joy that Christmas is coming. They need to know that the summer is coming, and these are the things that make people feel alive. So
So they yearn for articles. That's a bit.
yes. So the articles that they write are designed to attract people's attention, make them think. If they said Fred got up this morning, he put on his shoes and socks and his clothes, and then he got out, had his breakfast, which was oatmeal, then he went to work where nothing happened, and he came home that evening, and laid down, nothing happened.
Okay, Errol. Let's play. I'm a journalist and I'm struggling a little bit. Can you help me? Please make me my article sell with a nice headline.
Yeah.
Can you twist the following a bit for me?
Yeah.
I left my nanny and child at home and I go to work.
Woman neglects her own child in favor of supporting a business that is rumored to be bad for the community.
Okay, the next one. Man saw a Hollywood star in the road.
Hollywood star goes mental with Alzheimer's possibly as a reason, and wanders about in the road in front of traffic and is almost run over, but fortunately a man managed to push him off the road, and he suffered a concussion as a result by falling on the curb. It turned out though that he was just looking for directions to the nearest restaurant.
That's not the headline, it's the whole story. Or the man sees a woman picking up her keys.
Man sees a woman picking up her keys. Man neglects to help helpless woman struggling with goods that she dropped on the ground. Ignores her, walks past, leaves her stranded, struggling away. It's discovered afterwards that this is the same man that's done similar things in the past.
You're so fast. Okay. On a different topic, what do you think of the world right now?
Well, the world right now, that's now you're asking me things that are important to me. Okay, the world right now is fortunately we're in a time of probably the least bloodshed and pain, but at the same time, the world right now is in the grips of nearly everywhere, virtually nearly everywhere, the worst possible governments that have ever been in existence. And when one can start with the United States, these governments have come about whereby the can't do's becoming bureaucrats, and they are running these countries with sort of elected politicians, supposedly, and they are telling the can-dos what they must do every day. We have this terrible imbalance in the country, in the world at the moment, where we have governments that are totally inept, comprised of totally inept bureaucrats who can't do anything, who are telling the can-do people what to do. And this must end. This must end. This has to end. And somehow we have to encourage the can-do people to take a role in government and get rid of the can't-do people. Because the can't-do people are ruining nearly every country, and that's the United States, Britain, Australia, many places I can think of. Now, there are a few good governments, and I can think of the Indian government, and I also think that the Philippine government sounded like they were doing the right thing to me, and the Brazilian. But in most places, we have governments that are run by bureaucrats that cannot do anything. And yet they are telling the people who can do things what they must do with their lives. And that must end.
Thank you, Errol. That is very definite. I hear what you say. Thank you very much. And thank you for clarifying your position from your side to Elon.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.